In the 19th and early 20th century, merchants and villages in Grey Highlands rose to prominence in other areas of endeavor. Some of them transcended their towns to become leaders in social reforms that affected the whole province. None accomplished as much in so many fields as Matthew Kendall Richardson. Born in Colgaith, Cumberland, England in 1839, Richardson emigrated to Canada at the age of 24. He spent 2 years in Toronto where he met and married schoolteacher Mary McFarland. In 1865, he moved to Flesherton and set up a general store in partnership with his wife's brother, W.J. McFarland. In less than a year, McFarland left to set up his own highly successful store in Markdale, but they remained close friends. In 1884, Richardson opened a much larger ornate store and business block on the northwest corner of Sydenham and Durham Streets in Flesherton. The building still stands. His initials, MR, can still be seen carved above the store's main entrance. Matthew and Mary raised 6 children. Richardson was Deputy Reeve and Reeve of Artemisia Township, Warden of Grey County, and from 1900 to 1904, Liberal Conservative member from South Grey in the House of Commons. Beyond his family, Richardson's greatest loves were his church and the well-being of children. He was a Methodist lay preacher, renowned within all denominations for his eloquence. For 30 years, he was superintendent of the Sabbath School at Flesherton's Methodist Church. Late in the 19th century, Richardson befriended one of Ontario's great social crusaders, John Joseph Kelso, a reporter for the Toronto Globe. In 1891, J.J. Kelso spearheaded the creation of the Toronto Children's Aid Society, but his influence extended well beyond Toronto. From 1893 until 1934, Kelso served as Ontario's Superintendent of Neglected and Dependent Children. Recognizing his friend M.K. Richardson's passion for the well-being of children, Kelso appointed Richardson as Superintendent of Neglected and Abandoned Children for much of central and northern Ontario. M.K. Richardson rescued hundreds of children from dangerous homes and placed them in carefully selected foster families. The public supported Richardson's work in unexpected ways. On a February day in 1907, Richardson removed a 5-year-old boy from a Shelburne house in which his mother and her 3 brothers were all drunkards. A boy so neglected that he didn't know how to sit in a chair, squatting instead on the floor. At the railway station, the boy began to cry. Richardson diverted him by giving him a shiny new penny. Traveling salesmen on the platform noticed and approached Richardson with donations for the boy. Pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, 50-cent pieces, until Richardson had enough money to buy a complete new set of clothes for the boy when he arrived at the shelter in Owen Sound. M.K. Richardson died in 1917, a year after the death of his beloved wife, Mary. His obituary said, "He had a sympathetic nature and large, generous heart, which ministered often without ostentation to the needy and distressed. In social, political, educational, and religious life, he aimed at the highest and the best, and endeavored by precept and example to lead others to do likewise." He summed up his own philosophy in a letter he wrote to his schoolteacher daughter. "Try every week and every day to sow some seed germs of life truths in young affections as well as into their understanding. Try to get them to love truth and honor, purity and generosity. If you can help them to be truthful and unselfish, you are working for God and eternity. His headstone in Flesherton Cemetery sums up what his family and his community considered his greatest virtue. He loved little children.